approve of Trump's performance, continuing a decline since he took office for his second term. Approval on the economy stands at 30%, while 22% approve of his handling of inflation and the cost of living. The poll also found a majority of Republicans would support a Trump-endorsed candidate in a GOP primary, highlighting his continued influence within the party. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
There's another sign that the Wisconsin Center District is poised to move on from its current president and CEO.
Marty Brooks recently cleared out his office, according to an undated letter penned by his executive assistant to district board members and obtained by WTMJ. In the letter, Robin Pitts says district employees have received no internal communication as Brooks's future is discussed behind closed doors. Recent tensions center around Brooks's authorization of a study suggesting a convention center hotel could replace the Miller High Life Theater. A district spokesperson says Brooks remains president and CEO, positions he's currently contracted to hold through 2028. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is soaring up about 1.5% at 51,489. The NASDAQ in the red, down 120 points at 26,733. And the S&P 500 is slightly up about 6 points at 7,560. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
$998 buys you a magnificent diamond solitaire engagement ring at Kessler's.
A solid gold mounting shows off a big, beautiful diamond, 3/4 of a carat.
Glitter, twinkle, sparkle.
This is the definitive diamond solitaire engagement ring.
You can choose a round diamond, radiant, marquise, or oval.
3/4 of a carat. Any shape you want.
Any color of gold you want.
A 1-carat solitaire is just $1,498.
Ask to see the Evermore engagement rings at Kessler's.
You're going to be ecstatic about the color, clarity, and cut of your diamond.
Evermore.
Each of these diamonds was lovingly created in the heart of a miniature star.
Your diamond will remain.
Evermore.
Your diamond was born about the time you fell in love.
You will be in love.
Evermore.
Your diamond has been waiting patiently for you to see it, love it, and choose it.
Don't keep it waiting. Come to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at USAinsulation.net.
Where you live matters. Searching for assisted living can bring a lot of questions and a lot of emotion. At the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association, we believe you need a clear, complete picture without pressure. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association on whereyouLiveMatters.org, a one-stop destination with unbiased information to help you understand your options and connect directly with providers in your area. No confusion, just tools that help you take the next step with confidence. Start your research today at whereyouLiveMatters.org.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Brewers have had strong pitching over the last month and a half, but still looking to get a few key arms back into the lineup. Brandon Woodruff inching towards a possible return, throwing to some live hitters this week. Brewers president of baseball operations, Matt Arnold, telling WTMJ.
We want to play the long game here with Woody, you know, how much he means to our franchise and who he is. And so, you know, we're going to be cautious with him, of course, and build him up.
Brewers looking for a series win today over the Giants. Coleman Crowe will be on the mound for the Crew. 1:10 first pitch over at American Family Field. All of our coverage starting at 12:35 here on WTMJ. Green Bay Packers pass rusher Micah Parsons says he still has about 4 months left in his ACL recovery, and he's on track to hopefully return sometime in October.
There's no good outcomes with players coming back early from ACL, especially if you add in all the other things that get fixed up. So it's just all about completing the rehab the best of our ability and then seeing where we're at from there.
Packers mandatory minicamp will start next week. In the NBA Finals, Game 1 going to the New York Knicks as they beat the San Antonio Spurs, and Game 2 tonight in the Stanley Cup Finals between the Golden Knights and Hurricanes. Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Seeing some typical slowdowns, 94 east and westbound in our construction zone near the stadium. So kind of slow between 60th and Layton in that stretch. And then tapping the brakes a little bit in the work zone on I-41 southbound from Good Hope to Hampton. Otherwise, rest of the system looking pretty good.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford needs line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Contact the Mineshaft today and start next week.
Your WTMJ forecast, partly cloudy, warm conditions today. We'll see a high around 86 degrees. Tonight, we'll see chances for some showers, a low down to 64. Friday, then, cloudy, and we're going to see rain and storms likely throughout the day tomorrow. Could maybe get about an inch of rainfall. Highs tomorrow in the low 80s, and then into the weekend Saturday, chances for maybe a shower or storm with a high around 78. Right now, 75 degrees in Madison, sitting at 73 in Kenosha, and it's 78 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
And good morning, everybody. Yes, it is my final day before vacation, but I'm all in 100%, 110%.
110%.
Yeah, that was really a thing. At least 100%, though. Never less. Well, sometimes less.
I'll miss you.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, you had some fun guest hosts.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So I don't know how well our audience knows Kyle Wallace, but he is part of
ESPN.
ESPN. He has a show in the afternoon with Ben Brust. He had his own show at the noon hour on The Truth. And he is going to be filling in for you tomorrow. And I'm excited because I feel like Kyle and I often talk in passing and have lots of opinions about the world, but we've never actually, I think that except once I was on their show when I was promoting Bowling for Babies. But I think that's the only time we've shared airtime. So I'm excited to get into things with him tomorrow, including he's getting married soon. So we have
you
some
should
wedding
definitely
topics.
tee that up because a lot of people are in that same situation.
And also the thing I'm excited to talk to him about is one thing you and I never talked about is the NAACP's attempt, as the Voting Rights Act has been dismantled largely, their attempt to get young Black athletes to enter the portal and leave the states where their voting rights are potentially being taken away. I'm excited to talk to Kyle about whether or not that will work. And if it's a good idea, but also whether or not that really resonates with a 18-year-old football star.
Yeah, I think Kyle's not afraid to share his opinions.
No, not at all. That's why it's
obviously
fun.
On The Truth and ESPN 94.5. That's what he does. So maybe I'll even sample the podcast while I'm lounging with a pool drink,
soaking up the sun. Were you ever one of those people who had the tinfoil so you could have the reflection and get even tanner? No,
like Dick Bacon. No,
that wasn't you. That wasn't you in the 70s. Just.
Kathy just asked me this question recently. I'm starting to enjoy the sun more.
When did you not enjoy the sun?
I didn't know. I used to be interested in like being more tan, but maybe it's my Sicilian heritage started kicking in when you're tan like year round. I've been tan for like the last 2 years because of my trips.
Well, they're bringing back tanning beds, so.
Yeah. Is that a good thing?
No, absolutely not.
Why do you say that?
Because tanning beds are terrible for you.
I think done properly, they're perfectly fine.
I don't think so.
I think you could use a little sun.
I could absolutely use sun, but I now opt for like a spray tan.
Yeah, that's another way. That's another option for
versus
people.
Like risking skin cancer.
I feel like I've already been there and done that because there was no sunscreen when I was a kid. We literally tried to get the most sunburn. That was like your badge of honor as a kid. No sunscreen. Stay outside for 10 hours in the direct sun and just live with whatever the results are. So we're all freckled.
That's why all of you are getting like little skin spots removed and like little tiny melanoma off your nose.
Yeah,
both my parents have had to get stuff taken off their nose. I know plenty of boomers who have like a little thing where they got to take it and they got stitches in your face because none of you wore sunscreen in the 70s.
I've had more stuff burned off my forehead than any human should have. All right, so I was very busy on the newsletter creation this morning, but so you sort of took on the role of show outline producer.
So this is one of the topics that is not, it's certainly not the biggest news of the day because I don't think this proposal will probably go very far. But the philosophical conversation, I am fascinated to hear your thoughts and our audience thoughts about who should own the profits of AI. So not shockingly, Bernie Sanders, not yesterday, on Monday, said that he is going to soon introduce a bill proposing to give the public 50% stake in large artificial intelligence companies. So he released a 7-minute video and said that he's going to introduce a bill. So it's called the AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. And he said that legislation would give the public direct ownership stake in the country's largest AI companies in a one-time 50% tax on stocks. And his argument is that it will do two things. First, it will give the American people a direct role in determining the future of this technology. No longer would the future of AI be dictated by a handful of big tech oligarchs while the rest of the world sits back and watches them do what they want. Secondly, it would guarantee that the trillions of dollars potentially generated by AI are used to improve the lives of all of us, not simply to make the richest people on earth even richer. Thoughts, Steve?
Well, I mean,
not on the likelihood that it's going to pass, but on the premise of the idea.
Yeah, because if you look at the actual number of real bills that he has sponsored, not co-sponsored in his long career, it's like one of the lowest totals of anybody.
Is it really?
Yeah, and I give him credit. Those are mostly veterans related, so I give him credit for that. But he has a very low number. He's done a lot of co-sponsoring, but his actual, because he's a loner. I mean, he's a lone wolf. He's an independent. He's a democratic socialist, self-identifying as that.
You know what he stands for, though. There's no question about what this man stands for.
He's committed to the cause. If that's your cause, I agree with you. This is not going anywhere. And I'll give an example. And I spent some time. You told me this is on the list. So I sort of did a little homework. Is it any different than pharmaceutical companies? They benefit from publicly funded research. Taxpayers pay a lot of that money. Maybe we should own a stake in pharmaceutical companies. And oh, by the way, we do, because we have the opportunity to invest in those companies. Same thing that's going to happen with AI pretty soon.
All right, but that is, let's actually look at the numbers of that. So the wealthiest 1% of Americans own about 50 to 54% of all public equity market value.
Absolutely.
The top 10% of the wealthiest Americans own 87% of all stocks. So the bottom 50% of the U.S. population holds 1% of the total stock market wealth. So talking about this technology that could only be built based on the public knowledge of people's art, people's writing, people's music, like they basically stole people's information and the creativity of humans to build these models. And now they're going to privatize the gains from that. And the only argument is, oh, well, you can benefit from it too by buying stock. Like, I don't buy that. I think that there's, whether it's this bill specifically, but I think there has to be the fact that this is only possible because of the public, some kind of guarantee that the financial benefits of this technology also returns back to the public.
Yeah, I disagree on that one point because it's solely, not just solely responsible because of the public, it's solely responsible because of the incredible brain power of a few individuals who allowed this to go forward.
But how is this any different than like Alaska, where they give a dividend back to residents based on minerals and oil and like land resources?
If you're
and
arguing,
they do the same thing in New Mexico.
You're arguing that there should be some sort of a cash payment to people based on AI?
Yes.
Okay.
Similar to like the public, like whether you want to say the public-private ownership in somewhere like. How
is that just not getting into the what is some people's idea of a perfect government where we have government run everything? I mean,
well, I don't think it's government run everything.
Well, if you're taking private enterprise and whatever it's 50%, or taking money and then giving it to the public just because you're saying that you stole their information.
So oils and minerals. There's private companies who are actually contracted to dig up and like make those resources into something that can be used, right?
Right.
And they still make money, but
Yep.
there is a dividend from that goes back to, like in New Mexico, that's how they're now paying for childcare.
Yeah.
In Texas, that's how they support public schools.
Yeah, I'm not saying there shouldn't be some sort of hierarchy in how they are able to access all of our information, and that there should not be some way to sort of get some of that money back. I just gave you the private part of it because we will be allowed as investors, and I don't just because you drop the 50% they're not benefiting, I don't discard the 50% who are and have the opportunity to invest because they're just as vital as the bottom 50%.
And it's not about who is investing; it's about how much of the public equity is owned by how few people.
Yeah, that's not a unique thing in this world. That's been almost.
I know,
the
but I
case
think
since the beginning.
it's a straw man argument to say that that's somehow giving the public access to this stock. What if you can't afford the stock? If SpaceX is IPOing at $135 a stock, is that really like an equitable way to be giving back to the?
That's like me saying, someone who does vacation a lot and stays at nice places, I can't afford the White Lotus Hotel, therefore I should be afforded the
I
opportunity.
know, but the White Lotus Hotel doesn't exist because of your the humans' contributions to society.
So you seem like you're discounting the actual brain power that went into making AI a reality. It's like, shouldn't those people be compensated? I'm not saying to the degree.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't make any money.
I'm a guy that's not a fan of tech bros, the guys that run these
No,
companies.
I'm not saying
I
they shouldn't
openly
make
admit
any
that.
money, but I'm saying that they owe something to the public.
They also they've undertaken an incredible financial investment into AI, billions, eventually trillions of dollars. They haven't asked the public for that to some degree. They've gotten some funding from the U.S. government.
Well, and also,
China.
what funding are they also getting for some of the data centers that are going up as far as
like a lot of companies,
subsidies?
There's all kinds of benefits for companies. They also provide jobs, which I think will be part of this.
And they're also getting rid of jobs. They're also replacing
none of this
jobs.
should be surprising to you. I'm not generally a fan of the public just getting money just because you think they are owed money. I'm not a fan of that.
So then, what responsibility do any of these companies have
That's
for
a great question.
how much they stole of the?
Stop using the word stole.
They did steal it.
Any company is utilizing resources that are available in the world. They utilize them for their corporate interests. It's not unique to this industry. Now, I will agree on the creative side.
They just stole people's art and now are using it to create music. And
that's the one area I will agree with. Royalties should be paid on the creative side, absolutely, because that didn't exist without those unique contributions from individuals. That one I'll agree with you on. What do you think? 855-616-1620. Way late for break on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. We are in the heart of it. It is spring and summer in Wisconsin. I love it. I've got a lot of cool stuff planned. We want to help you plan your getaway, whether it's a romantic getaway or something with the family. Join us for Experience Wisconsin, 1 o'clock Saturdays here on WTMJ. This week, it's going to be a fun show. Hayward Lakes is spotlighted, and so is Sheboygan. Yeah, it's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi from Milwaukee Weight Loss. You know the story, right? I lost 50 pounds since last year and a half now. Kept the weight off. It's the secret, my secret, your secret, potentially, to losing 1 pound of fat every day. They know the secret. Doctor-developed, natural, easy to follow. I did it. You can do it. Helps you lose weight fast, naturally, safely. No drugs or injections. No prepackaged meals, bars, shakes. None of that. You reset your metabolism. Use their great coaches to help you keep the weight off for good. Reestablishing, reaffirming a new relationship with food, what you eat, when you eat, all those things. Very important. That's a big part of the plan. And here's the cool part. It costs up to half as much as most of the other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com, schedule your free consultation. Here's the even cooler part, because you're listening to me right now. For a limited time, get $200 off with their summer special. $200 off. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Everywhere you turn, it's plus, plus, plus. But at Hassellus Mattress, nobody has more plus than us. Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $293. Plus, through Monday, get a free adjustable base. Plus, a huge selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and other big-name brands. Plus, free next-day delivery and setup. Plus, employee-free showrooms. Whew! All these pluses have me feeling nonplussed. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassellus.com.
Welcome back. Not that you went anywhere. You were right there with us, waiting for us to eagerly return. 1021, 620 WTMJ. AI, who gets a chunk of all that wealth, and then did they steal it from all of our information? All available
they
on the internet.
There's plenty of lawsuits that are arguing that they
Sure.
broke copyright laws.
Sure. I just don't think it's realistic this is going to happen. Now, what might happen, and maybe this is, I'll give him credit this way. He's putting the thought in people's heads that maybe there are some things that we should receive as the general public because of AI and some protections. This is even the more important part.
The protection part is also very important.
Because there are a lot of people, myself included, who worry this goes too far. Not iRobot too far, but just crazy stuff that could happen once AI becomes sentient and actually can understand well beyond what we jam into it, what they've stolen from our, use your term, stolen from our minds and our creations and our internet experiences. That's the part that.
So you didn't respond to my examples with.
What do you mean I didn't respond?
No, with like with the oil and minerals and the different land dividends.
Sure, you
different
pay
states
land
have set
rights.
up.
You have to have land rights to get to process that oil.
Yeah, and so like it's the people's land, right? And so that's the argument there.
You're saying physical versus like intellectual property.
Yeah. And so do you have a problem with those kinds of structured deals?
If anyone has content that is available on the internet that this platform, this AI experience directly takes from, there probably should be some consideration there. If it's unique to that individual, absolutely. It's no different than in the case I just did before the break. Royalties for artists, royalties for authors. It's unique to that individual. But to blanket give people money, some of them may never even been on the damn internet. Like, why would you give that person? They've never been on the internet. They've done nothing on the internet. Why would you give them money?
So you don't think there's anything possible as far as like the some of the profits from this technology should go to fund XYZ thing that is a public, like, do you think it's a public good? Do you think the internet's a public good?
Yeah.
So that's something the government should provide as the internet. Because we don't right now. You have to pay privately for internet.
There's some people that get government assistance for access to the internet. And I can give you an easy example.
So that's not a public good. Like the library is a public good.
Yeah.
And so as far as like access for free to the park, right? So it's like, do you think the internet should be a public good?
Yeah.
More than it
is?
Yeah. Like
probably.
Should it be something that like we're not paying individually at home for our internet access?
What do you mean we're not paying individually for internet access?
Like if it's a public good.
Yeah. Oh, you say it's free internet. Is that what you're saying? Maybe that'd be a great way to actually take the AI industry and enrich our lives, is to make internet free for everybody.
That's what I'm saying. So if that was
that would be a
technology,
great one.
right? So it's like
sure.
the benefits, the some of the profits that get go public from AI companies funds high-speed internet across the country.
Sure, maybe that's a negotiation. See, that's what the good part of what Bernie Sanders has done. He's created an idea that there may be some opportunity here. If that's what his intent was, because I would like to think he's realistic enough, they're not going to give 50% of their profits. That's never going to happen. If he's actually thinking about it long term.
Well, I think he's bringing up the conversation.
Yeah.
Which half the time is what these bills do, right? A lot of these bills don't get passed right away.
Especially his, yeah.
They get introduced again and again. I mean, think about how long it took for Gale's Law to get passed in Wisconsin.
Yeah, again, I'm not a guy who attacks corporations because they make money. There's a big segment of our population who hates that, but they're job creators, they're innovative, they do a lot of things.
To be fair, you do attack the fact that companies have shifted from caring about consumers to caring about shareholders.
Yeah, because that's real life. That's actually what's happening.
But that is how corporations make so much more money than they've ever made, is by prioritizing shareholders.
There's no perfect world. There are problems with every sector and every piece.
I told you I was feisty today.
That's good. That's why you're here. If you're not feisty, why are you here? I mean, that's the whole point. Nothing is perfect. And if Bernie Sanders can get to something that says, let's see some responsibility from AI companies, sign us up, all us up. And the idea about the internet access, frankly, that is the most irritating thing in the world, that we're all paying for something that frankly should be almost free. Come on, right?
Look at us agreeing on that.
Well, because we tried, as a loyal listener told me yesterday in the 3rd Street Market Hall here, balance is important. Whenever you have a conversation, one-sided conversations, although they make a lot of money on radio and TV, are silly and stupid because you're just giving a speech. We don't give speeches. We think through the things we talk about, right? All right. We got to go to break. We got to get on schedule. Get it?
Good topic. This was a good topic.
It was a good topic. I gave you full credit for the outline today because I did nothing on it. So I'm here. I'm participating. I'm in. All in. Chris and Steve, 620 WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at Accunet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money, too. That's ACCUNET.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know dads. The ones who know how to build it all, grill it all, and fix it all while still taking the time to share it all. This Father's Day, give your dad a gift he'll love. Like a 43-piece Milwaukee Impact socket set, $40 off. 3M Bluetooth WorkTunes hearing protection, only $79.99. And select interior automotive accessories are 20% off. Find value on the gifts he'll value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scavidi. Celebrate active aging at the Enjoy Life Symposium. Join Capri communities and adults 55 plus for a free high-energy day at the Enjoy Life Acting Aging Symposium. Live entertainment, a senior fashion show, and speakers like, get this, Melinda Myers and Chef Michael Fecker, the Ukuladies, and Milwaukee's Dancing Grannies. Capri Communities brings it all together for one unforgettable day, Wednesday, June 10th at Elmbrook Church in Brookfield. Register now at EnjoyLifeSymposium.com, and you'll be entered to win a Green Bay game day experience. That's EnjoyLifeSymposium.com.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
Business-wise, ain't doing great. The number of people buying electric motorcycles just is not high.
Entertainment.
It looks very epic. It looks really exciting. Anyone who's ever been good at acting is basically in that movie.
And more.
When we see cryptocurrencies, 98% of that use is associated with scams.
Every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
1029, 620 WTMJ. I've got a local news update coming up in a second. Lots of texts. Nothing is perfect. There's problems everywhere. What are we supposed to do? Put effort into fixing things. Make a world where we care, all caps, about each other. Yeah, we should care about each other. If I'm taking him on as the face value, we're not going to tax corporations 50% for whatever he thinks they're on the hook for.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good. That's why it's a psychological experiment of debating.
For you, but I think he believes in the 50% number. You give it.
I absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a socialist.
Democratic socialist, yeah.
But that's not to say that there aren't other countries that do well with private-public ownership of companies. I mean, China's doing pretty well. I'm not saying I want to be China, but I'm just saying it's not like China's struggling.
Economically, no, but you ask the people in China what they feel about freedom or anything like that.
I know that there's certainly drawbacks to but it's not like their economy is struggling because of the government ownership of these companies.
And I would say we got to get to this.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton has agreed to plead guilty to retaining and transmitting classified documents. ABC's Catherine Falder says Bolton was indicted by a grand jury in October of last year.
We do expect him to enter this plea at some point, which obviously he would need to revise. We are getting indications that he will have a rearrangement, if you will, and that is scheduled for later this month on June 26, where we're told that's where he intends to enter this plea deal.
He is also expected to pay a fine of at least $2 million. Hezbollah has rejected a ceasefire deal between the Israeli government and the Lebanese government. The militant group, backed by Iran, says as long as Israeli troops remain in Lebanon, in its words, the resistance will continue. The number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits hit the highest number in 4 months last week. Layoffs, however, remain historically low. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1031. I'm Neil Doyle. Shots fired near the Marquette University campus. It happened Wednesday night near 18th in Wisconsin. Several people exchanging gunfire, including someone inside of a dark-colored sedan. Police say the suspects fled the scene. No one was hurt. Multiple buildings in the area were struck by bullets. The body of a drowning victim recovered from the Rock River in Jefferson County. The sheriff's office there, the dive team, found that body during a search Wednesday after the man disappeared while boating earlier this week. The medical examiner working to identify the victim. ATV and UTV riders can expect to see some extra patrols across the state this weekend.
Wisconsin's Department of Natural Resources Think Smart Before You Start safety campaign runs Friday through Sunday. Conservation wardens and county recreation deputies will watch for speeding, reckless driving, and impaired operations on trails and routes statewide. The DNR says Wisconsin has already recorded 15 ATV and UTV fatalities this year. The agency is urging riders to wear helmets, use seatbelts, and never operate while intoxicated. The new regulations went into effect on Monday. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow surging up nearly 900 points at 51,584. The NASDAQ is down 63 at 26,790. And the S&P 500 is up about 18 points at 7,572. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Seeing some typical slowdowns in a few of our work zones, particularly on I-41. Southbound, you're tapping the brakes. That's between Good Hope and Hampton, and then slow on the northbound side of 41. That starts at North Avenue until you get past Capitol Drive. Otherwise, rest of the system, everything else moving along nicely. Your forecast, partly cloudy, warm conditions today. We'll see a high around 86 degrees. Tonight, then, we could start to see some showers and a low down to 64. Expecting to be a bit of a wet Friday. Cloudy, rain and storms likely. Could see about an inch of rainfall. Still going to be warm tomorrow, high of 82. And then into the weekend, maybe a chance for a shower or storm Saturday. Partly cloudy, high of 78. And then partly cloudy and pretty comfortable on Sunday with highs in the mid-70s. Right now, 71 degrees in Sheboygan, sitting at 78 in Waukesha, and it's 79 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
Sponsored by Redo Cabinets. Don't replace this spring. Reface.
Mark Olson here. Now is the time to declare your independence from the outdated kitchen during the Redo Cabinets 4th of July event. Redo Cabinets, where hundreds of homeowners have discovered the benefits of refacing old kitchen cabinets, celebrates America's 250th birthday. Redo Cabinets, where you'll find premium cabinet facings made here in the USA, and you could choose from dozens of colors, various hardware, and accessory selections. During the Redo Cabinets 4th of July celebration, get $1,776 off your entire cabinet project and a free backsplash, and no payments for 12 months. That's right, no payments until 2027. Incredible savings. Call us today for a free, no obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us online at redocabinets.com. Don't replace it, redo it with Redo Cabinets.
Experience 90 years of history this week at the Fox and Hounds, the Up North Timbered Supper Club near Holy Hill. WTMJ's John Mercure here. It is my favorite place. Make some great memories at the Fox and Hounds. The Friday haddock fish fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. The pan-fried walleye, that's so good. The pecan-crusted salmon, my wife loves that. The spinach and cheese tortellini, the surf and turf, any entree, all buy one, get one free. Try the ribs. Desserts are buy one, get one free. Relax with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, more than 120 wines from around the world. Rustic bar, 8 unique dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds cuddles the Kettle Moraine Forest near Holy Hill. The summer drive is a Wisconsin must-see. Escape from your kitchen with a free dinner at the Fox and Hounds, serving from 4 p.m. Dine early. Saturday, buy one prime rib dinner, get one free. Enjoy Saturday lunch from 11 till 2. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Call and reserve your free dinner.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristen along with Steve and our guest. My first time meeting him. These two go back because they're both mayors. Mayor Brian Kennedy of Glendale. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So you wrote a book.
I did.
With all the free time that you have as mayor.
Right.
And so it's about local government. So it's called It's All Local, Saving Democracy from the Ground Up. And it just came out last month, May 19th. What was the inspiration to get some of these ideas down on paper?
Local government works. and you talk to people and they're happy with their local government, right? Their garbage gets picked up, their road gets bladed, their parks they can take their kids to.
The most direct relationship
Exactly.
is local government as compared to all the other ones.
Right. But you know what? The way we run our campaigns at the local level is by talking to our neighbors, by building a platform based on what our neighbors tell us they want their community to look like. But we've turned over the political system for everything else to high-paid consultants in D.C. And so I take on in this book saying that we have essentially become victims of a millionaire class of consultants and PR experts who try to tell us what the messaging and the branding is instead of letting us organize the way we used to. The Democratic Party used to be organized in church basements, at bingo, in union halls, in community centers. The Republican Party, likewise, at chambers of commerce and in Rotary groups, right? That's where these parties were built. It was people talking to people. And now, essentially, every political cycle turns into trying to sell us essentially like a car or a pharmaceutical drug.
When did that change?
Well, it really started with the advent of television, but it
Okay.
accelerated, and I get into this in the book, under James Carville and Bill Clinton's campaign, right? Everything then became, how do you stick to just one message? It's the economy, stupid, right? Over and over and over. And that's all he talked about. Any of the things that came up, it always came back to the economy. And they never departed from that talking point. Well, then you get into Obama becomes the one exception. He actually created neighborhood groups all across the country, thousands of them. He actually organized at the ground level. And then we move into social media era, and everything now is about optimizing your data, right? You know, what does the data tell us? Well, the data doesn't tell us. The data can tell us some trends, but the data doesn't tell us what my neighbor's thinking. And when I go to knock doors and I talk to my neighbor and I use the talking points that, are pushed down from the National Party, I say it to my neighbor and they're like, what the hell does that mean? Right? It doesn't make sense to people.
One of the biggest examples, I just did a speech to a group last week, is about the power of local government is they balance their budgets.
Absolutely.
For the most part. What else can you demonstrate or point to that suggests we're doing it well on a local level, but it slips away? I get the outside influences, a tremendous amount, billions of dollars going into campaigns and candidates and all that stuff. But what else do we do on a local level that could be taken up the ladder?
So you can't win at a local level without actually doing doors, talking to people, right? You don't have any consultants. You're running for alderman in Glendale. There's 2,000 people that get to vote in an aldermanic district. In my city's 13,500 people. So I'm not going to go out and pay these high-priced consultants to do polling and A/B testing and tell me what my message is. I have to go and have house parties and talk to my neighbors. I got to show up at the sidelines of a kid's soccer game and talk to my neighbors, talk to the parents. And so that's what we're doing right? We're actually building community by talking to one another at a face-to-face level. What we need to do as a national party is do away with that consultant class. Do honestly what Ken Martin's doing right now. Push the money out to the states with no strings attached. Hire people. Do on-the-ground organizing. I'm not going to tell you what to say, what to do. There's no national messaging. There's no national branding, which the consultants hate. You hear them complaining all the time. The Democratic Party is falling apart. It is not falling apart. We're organizing at a local level, and it's why we keep winning elections.
Well, and this is what's really interesting, because I don't know how often you listen to the show, but on Friday we have Joe Supecki here and we have Bill Bukashin, and not so long ago, Ken Martin came under fire, right? So are you a fan of Ken Martin? Are you thinking that he's doing a good job compared to what the rhetoric has been in the last month?
So first and foremost, I was a huge Ben Wickler fan.
Okay.
I traveled around the country campaigning for Ben, as the president of a national organization and somebody who has been in his state and saw what he did here. I give Ken a little bit of grace, right? It's a really hard job. And when you finish that job, you've lost all your friends and you've gained a whole bunch of enemies, right? If you talk to any past DNC chair, that's exactly what the job entails, right? Are you ready to give up all your friends? What I will say is Ken's had some missteps, but in terms of what he is doing at the national level, sending more and more money out to the states and not telling us what to do with it is absolutely how we're going to continue winning in the future. Don't give us national branding. Don't give us national messaging. Don't push things down our throats. Let us talk to our neighbors. You talk to your neighbor in rural Nebraska and you talk to your neighbor in downtown Milwaukee, and it's going to be two completely different conversations, and it's not what the consultants in Northern Virginia are going to tell us.
So structurally, who gets the money? When you said he's pushing the money to the states, so in Wisconsin right now, is that going to WisDems, and so that it's up to Devin Wickler and not Devin Wickler, Freudian slip,
Remacher,
Devin Remacher, of how the money is getting spent. So it's the party chairs in each state.
Yeah. So every single state party is getting $17,500 a month. If you're in a solidly red state, you're getting $22,500 a month. Then there's another fund of grant money. If you want to do a specific kind of organizing or on-the-ground program, you can get even more money for your state party. And the people who are coming after Ken the most are the consultant class, who are not getting all the contracts.
Who have the most
right
to
now.
lose, yeah.
Right, they have the most to lose in this.
They're losing their jobs because I would argue they've done a bad job. But well,
Yeah, exactly.
We may disagree or agree. All right,
That's what my book's about, actually.
Absolutely,
They did a
he's going
terrible
to stick
job.
around. Mayor of Glendale. He is Brian Kennedy. I've known him for a couple decades almost. We'll get to the trust factor because that's a big part of why you were talking about the popularity of local leaders. We trust them, not so much on the other levels. How do we get to a better trust? And even how we talked yesterday, real quick before we go to break, about school districts, how they've been infiltrated by politics, how that maybe some that's coming into your city and other cities around our area. Is that the same dynamic? We'll discuss after this.
An unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'm gonna put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? I'm gonna give you a ticket. Bet you wish you buckle up now.
Oh my God. Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Take it, click it. There we go. Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways. Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Fever. Lake Lawn Resort. No better place to welcome spring than the award-winning Lake Lawn Resort. Been going there for 4 decades. It is amazing. Just talked to one of their corporate execs out there. I had dinner out there. Great meal at 1878 in the lake. First of all, the vista looking out over Lake Delavan is amazing. You can golf. I golfed last year at Majestic Oaks. Great golf course. No matter what your skill level, you're welcome. And unwind at the incredible Caladora Spa. Keyword relax. Out at the spa. With 2 miles of shoreline, which is amazing, along beautiful Delavan Lake, there's always something to do. Or simply, here's that word again, the perfect spot to relax. Lake Lawn Resort. See why everything, I mean it, is simply better at the lake. Plan your spring, summer, future fall and winter getaways today at lakelawnresort.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today, Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, you and I have been talking about AI recently, and you brought up another interesting take on an opportunity that business owners should leverage while they're evaluating their commercial insurance and employee benefits programs.
Thank you, Vince. Great to be here. AI is useful, but without clean data, it won't do much good.
Hey, would you share with everyone what we were talking about before we started recording?
Sure, Vince. Information and data are the lifeblood or the currency of good underwriting for insurance companies.
How can we better understand why that's so important, Jeff?
Underwriting, whether for commercial insurance or employee benefits, is becoming more automated and very data-driven, even more so now in the age of AI. A company's data, whether publicly available or proprietary data, tells an important story. Are earnings growing or stagnant? What channel do your sales originate from? Historical claim activity. Your objective data tells a story. Insurance companies use these data points and many others in their risk selection and pricing tools.
So what else is important here?
Your subjective data plays an important role in all of your risk programs as well. Attributes like your company culture, documented processes, the quality of your management team, and customer feedback all tell a story about your company. A carefully crafted overview of your company, combined with the data to support it, make your business desirable, and companies will compete to insure it.
So why should businesses work with R&R Insurance?
We're a fiercely independent, technology-forward, top 100 insurance agency. We understand how to get insurance companies to compete for your business. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, we'd love to speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Mayor to Mayor plus Kristen on this Thursday edition, my last edition before I take a well-deserved vacation.
So well-deserved.
Mayor
He's
Brian
so stressed out all the time.
Yeah, so stressed. Very, very stressed. Mayor Brian Kennedy, City of Glendale, because we always had that village city thing I was thinking about.
The only city in the North Shore, the rest are villages.
Oh, is it
that's,
true?
See, that's why I was thinking that.
Yeah.
What's the next city after Glendale North?
North of us would be River Hills.
Okay. But that's a village?
That's a village. And then Brown Deer's a village. Bayside, Fox Point, Whitefish Bay, and Shorewood, all villages.
And the qualifier is you get a president in a village and a mayor in a city.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're 13,500 people, but
You
our
haven't grown much.
Our daytime, well, we can't. We're landlocked, fully developed, but our daytime population is close to 80,000. We've got 3
true?
Fortune 1000 companies.
Yeah,
We've
that's
got a shopping mall,
That's impressive.
car dealerships, 2 hospitals, everything. The North Shore goes to do everything in Glendale.
Yeah, it's a great place.
So don't get me
I
started
spend
on
a lot of
local
time
sales tax because I could make a ton of money for my
That's a
city.
whole nother conversation.
That's
All
a
right.
whole nother
He has
conversation.
written a book, he being Brian Kennedy. It's called It's All Local, Saving Democracy from the Ground Up. It is now out there, wherever you can get books, I imagine.
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, yep.
All right, so I teed up before the break. We talked a lot yesterday about how school boards are being infiltrated by really partisan politics. Have you seen that on the local level as far as city government, village government?
So I haven't in Glendale or in much of the North Shore, but I am the national president of Democratic
why I
Municipal
asked.
Officials, and school boards fall under our jurisdiction. So we have tens of thousands of Democrats who hold local office, and I'm the leader of that organization within the party. And we have seen this. You know, the Moms for Liberty have popped up in a lot of places and really tried to politicize what books are in schools, what the curriculum looks like, and they want the school board to become much more hands-on. I spent a decade on my local school board before I moved over to City Hall. So I know what school board's function is. You have one employee, it's your superintendent, right? And then the superintendent is who you go to for everything. The superintendent is the one that runs the district. So when you get these folks that want to come in from the outside, they want to micromanage the district, which means they don't trust the superintendent.
Would it be safe to say, because I just had this conversation, I'm doing some investigations on school boards and school districts and how they operate, to call the superintendent the CEO of the district?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the way I understand it.
Well, same as the mayor, we're CEO of the city.
Yeah, and then you have to work with the aldermen.
But where I
and
struggle-
it's the checks and balances at just a municipal level.
Where I struggle is when you have board, and look, you're duly elected, I understand your role, but you're trying to supersede the CEO of your district. Listen to their expertise. In many cases, they've earned that title, that job, and you're sort of disrespecting them by just saying, well, I just listen to the voters. It's not really, that's not the only part of your job. That's frustrating to me as a former local leader.
Yeah, and they're not actually listening to the voters. They're listening to what a national
Some
political
voters,
organization
yeah.
is telling them that they think some voters want to hear.
So bringing that back to the book and in your recommendations, so if we agree that the premise of municipal, local leadership and local government is working and that we should get back to talking to our neighbors and actually having a more bespoke approach to government, how do you flip it? How do you go back to bottom up instead of top down when we talk about national parties or even state parties?
Well, we've gotten to the point, and it isn't just with the messaging. We've also gotten to the point with the 2 platforms of the 2 parties that you either check every box or you don't, and there's no place for you. It's the reason we're seeing this huge rise in independents. I mean, there's 4 major candidates running for the U.S. Senate right now as independents who are doing incredibly well in places like Montana and Nebraska and Idaho, right? I mean, we're in North Dakota or South Dakota, one of the Dakotas. Anyway, so we're seeing that rise of the independents because there's no room anymore. You either, to be a Democrat, you have to be all these different social justice things, and you also have to be pro-union and support the working class. And if you're on the Republican side, you have to basically, whatever Donald Trump says is, the words of God, right? And so there's no in between. And we've lost that space. And at the local level, if we got back to organizing at the local level, we would see both parties become much more big tent parties. I mean, we used to have blue dog Democrats. We used to have moderates in the Democratic Party. The Republican Party used to have moderates. They're gone in both parties.
Somebody said this to me the other day.
Yeah.
It's about power now, not the people.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
It is.
It's about money and power.
Right. And where's the money go? It goes to all those consultants that I spend chapters railing on in my book.
Yeah.
Right. They've taken over both parties. I actually have a chapter in here about the Republican Party as well. The Democratic Party tries to come up with messaging that doesn't offend anybody. And so it's bland and it's sterile. The Republican Party tries to scare the crap out of people. Here's who we're hating this week. Right. And so you've got these 2
and
parties.
it works, right? I mean, we know that all
But
the
you're not asking for
anti-trans stuff
Democrats
worked
to
in
mimic
2024.
Republican behavior, I'm
No,
guessing. Yeah.
I'm asking for both parties to actually organize on the ground and talk to voters. And what I think you're going to find is both parties are going to move closer to the center, and we're going to start seeing that they could become big tent parties again.
I'll simplify it. Act like grown-ups.
Really?
In real relationships. I mean, that's what I want from politics.
Or just talk to each other. It's so interesting because, and Steve knows this, but I'm working on this documentary, and it's more about polarization and talking to young people about it. But it's what the thesis that I'm starting to come to, or the conclusions I'm starting to come to, is our inability, and not just young people, but all of us, and some of it's the screens, some of it's how we work now, but like how to deal with people you don't always get along with.
Right.
And we're losing the skill of doing that as a society. And so it's like, in getting back to doing this, of actually having to talk to each other that's how we're wired, is to actually try to build consensus ultimately. But we're not very good at it anymore.
No, and as elected officials, we've gotten to the point where we look so much to our parties, even in local office. Many of us look too much to the party. Like, I'm the leader of a Democratic organization, right, nationally, and I'm probably on the ICC, which is the 19 mayors and village presidents that meet every month in the county. I'm probably one of the most liberal in terms of my personal values. Yet I started a chamber of commerce as mayor of my city. When I ran for re-election in 2024, I was endorsed by the County Democratic Party and by a bunch of Republican business owners who contributed to my campaign because I started a chamber for
Yeah,
it.
that's the difference, the connection you make. That's the power of local government. We got to let you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a podcast with you on your book.
Okay.
So we'll have you on Scafidiology. We'll tee it up.
Okay.
You got a lot. You have a lot to say, and you're interesting, and you're a former mayor, so I give you that love as well.
I'm a current mayor. You're a former mayor.
I know. That's right. Brian Kennedy from the city of Glendale. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Quick break here on 620 WTMJ.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the Memorial Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big bucks on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian designed recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save during our Memorial Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. For pilots and aviation lovers, there's nothing like making a trip to EAA AirVenture Oshkosh. July 20th through the 26th, get up close to thousands of aircraft. Learn about the newest innovation. Get hands-on with experts and witness breathtaking daily air shows, some even at night. There's no better way to immerse yourself into the world of aviation than by checking out the world's greatest aviation celebration. Fuel your passion for flight. EAA.org is the website. July 20th through the 26th, EAA.org.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Lark.
I love the location, and that's the main reason Dave and I are there, is because of nature all around us. I knew when we moved in, I was leaving behind a lot of stress and responsibility. I decided now is the time to do what I want when I want to do it.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this. And Summit Credit Union's got you.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Are you like me? Do you stress about your home, how it looks, or maybe you're worried about something leaking? Well, you can live with peace of mind and without stress by getting a new roof from Tri-County Contracting. Get yourself a free instant roof quote right now. Go to TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's that easy. It's roofing, siding, and windows that'll make you love your home again. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Let me tell you the story of Jack the Giant Slayer.
1-2 pitch, and he lines one into right. Coming in is Churio, diving. Did he make the catch? He sure did! Jackson Churio!
The Brewers clash with the Giants today at American Family Field.
Jackson Churio with a dazzling play.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 12:35. This series is sponsored by the Hot House Tavern, Left's Lucky Town, and Revere's Wells Street Tavern. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right.
That was fun.
Yeah, well, Brian's a good guy. He's a strong mayor, and he gets that public-private. He's obviously worked a lot of business, and that daytime population is one of the reasons he's successful, and that Glendale is successful, because you go from 13.5 to 80,000 and during the day. Those people all eat, shop, do stuff. That's a big deal. He's a brilliant. He's got a PhD.
PhD in economics.
Yeah, I know a lot of mayors. Not a lot of them have PhDs, especially in economics. I would probably be like a tiniest slice of the pie. But thanks to Brian for it. He's a great guy to talk to as well.
If you were getting a PhD, what would you get it in?
Probably paleoanthropology or archaeology, something like that. Yeah. I'd have to restart my life.
I know.
I got a quick story I'll tell you during the break. All right. Jeremy Janine coming up after the news, which is next on 620 WTMJ.
Market swings can feel very different when you're close to retirement. Hi, I'm Tony Drake, certified financial planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. When you're younger, volatility is often something you ride out over time. But as retirement approaches, big market drops can have a much bigger impact on your long-term plan. That's why many retirees need a different investment approach, one that balances growth with protection and provides income even when markets are unpredictable. At Drake & Associates, we help families design diversified strategies intended to help manage risk while still giving your money the opportunity to grow. My complimentary retirement toolkit walks through how thoughtful investment planning can help you stay confident during uncertain markets. You'll receive a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, along with 5 guides covering income planning, taxes, and smart investing. Call 414-897-9522 or text RISK to 414-897-9522 for your no-cost toolkit. That's 414-897-9522 or text the word RISK to 414-897-9522. Because the goal isn't just growing your money, it's protecting the retirement you've worked for.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Right now, during our June farm sale, save $2 on assorted Purina horse feed. Save $110 on 192-piece DeWalt Mechanics tool set. And men's work and sport boots are on sale 25% off. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Spring into better vision at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. All starts with a comprehensive eye exam from a skilled optometrist. Takes a look at your eye health and overall well-being. Need glasses, contacts, maybe both? At Shopko Optical, get expert care and the perfect eyewear for your lifestyle, all in one convenient visit. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I go to the one at Hales Corners. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical, partners in your eye care.
Let me tell you the story of Jack the Giant Slayer.
1-2 pitch, and he lines one into right, coming in is Churio, diving, did he make the catch? He sure did! Jackson Churio!
The Brewers clash with the Giants today at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 12:35. This series is sponsored by the Hot House Tavern, Left's Lucky Town, and Revere's Wells Street Tavern. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Just after 11 o'clock, it's 80 degrees, partly cloudy, warm today with a high up around 86. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Neil Doyle. President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, expected to plead guilty over mishandling classified documents. He's expected to plead guilty to one count of illegal retention of sensitive documents. More from ABC's Catherine Founders.
We do expect him to enter this plea at some point, which obviously he would need to revise. We are getting indications that he will have a rearraignment, if you will, and that is scheduled for later this month on June 26, where we're told that's where he intends to enter this plea deal.
Bolton was charged last year with 8 counts of unlawful transmission of national defense information, as well as 10 counts of unlawful retention of national defense materials. A federal judge now weighing whether to overturn the conviction of former Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan. Dugan was scheduled to be sentenced Wednesday after a jury convicted her of felony obstruction for helping an undocumented immigrant who was in the country avoid federal agents. But instead, U.S. District Judge Lynn Adelman hearing arguments yesterday from both sides on whether the verdict should stand. Dugan's attorneys pointing to a recent federal appeals court ruling, while prosecutors arguing the conviction should remain in place. Judge Adelman, not issuing a ruling yesterday, has not said when he will make a decision. New details on a man accused of fatally beating a security guard in Milwaukee. Records indicating that he was arrested a week prior near the MATC campus.
According to a criminal complaint, 33-year-old Daniel McCrae was originally charged with disorderly conduct for attacking an officer around 6:30 p.m. on May 5th. The officer says McCrae was under the influence of alcohol and refusing to leave the campus before breaking the officer's finger during the arrest. He was released from custody on May 12th. A week later, on May 18th, McCrae is accused of attacking and seriously injuring security guard Dylan Plouffe while he was on duty in the MacArthur Square parking garage. Plouffe later died. The charges in that case are pending. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
And move over Walmart. There's a new company atop the Fortune 500.
For 13 years, Walmart has claimed the #1 spot on the Fortune 500 list. But now, for the first time since 2013, there's a new company up there. And it should surprise no one that it's Amazon. The Fortune 500 ranks companies based on revenue. And in 2025, Amazon's revenue grew by 12%, thanks in part to its growing web services, cloud computing, and advertising businesses. The venerable Walmart is still king when it comes to retail, but those other platforms help propel Amazon to the top spot on the Fortune 500 list. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
News about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow surging up over 1.5% at 51,540. NASDAQ in the red, down 78 points at 26,772. And the S&P 500 is up 16 at 7,570. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Struggling to provide for your family is a real thing, like having to choose between feeding them a warm meal or paying the utility bill. These are the choices many Milwaukee residents are faced with, which is why they turn to St. Vincent de Paul Society's meal program for help. Our meal program has been a consistent resource for those in need for over 42 years. Nutritious meals, warm showers, and clean clothes, all in a safe, family-friendly environment. Our mission is clear, and that's to help you break the cycle of poverty by connecting you with life-changing community and educational resources. Last year, we provided $2.2 million in goods and services, plus 57,000 warm meals. If you or anyone you know needs a warm evening meal, you can find us at Harambe Kitchen 5 nights a week on the northeast side of Milwaukee in the basement of All People's Church. And at Crossroads Kitchen on the south side of Milwaukee 6 nights a week on 9th and Madison. As always, we're grateful for community members and volunteers who help us help you. To learn more, visit svdpmilw.org.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does, because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. According to ESPN, here within the last half hour, Green Bay wide receiver Christian Watson and the Packers reaching an agreement on a 4-year, $110 million contract extension. That includes $31 million signing bonus. Watson now the second receiver along with Jaden Reed to get an extension from the Packers. Meanwhile, pass rusher Micah Parsons says he's still about 4 months out from his ACL recovery, hoping to return sometime in October.
There's no good outcomes with players coming back early from ACL, especially if you add in all the other things that get fixed up. So it's just all about completing the rehab the best of our ability and then seeing where we're at from there.
Packers mandatory minicamp starts next week. Milwaukee Brewers, some day baseball over at American Family Field, going for the series win over the Giants, coming off a 1-0 loss last night. Coleman Crow on the mound for Milwaukee today, a 1:10 first pitch. All of our coverage coming up at 12:35 here on WTMJ. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Just seeing some typical delays in some of our work zones. 94 east and westbound, kind of tapping the brakes there near the stadium between 60th and Layton. And then slow as well, 41 southbound from Good Hope all the way to Hampton. And then on the northbound side, also slow on 41. That starts at North Avenue until Capitol Drive.
Traffic is sponsored by Capri Communities. Enjoy Life Active Aging Symposium. Visit EnjoyLifeSymposium.com. Live life to the fullest at Capri's Enjoy Life Symposium on Wednesday, June 10th. This free event for older adults includes speakers, exhibitors, activities, and more. Register today at EnjoyLifeSymposium.com.
And your forecast, partly cloudy, warm conditions today, a high around 86. We could start to see some showers develop tonight, a low down to 64, and then expecting rain throughout the day Friday. Cloudy with rain and storms, could see anywhere from a half up to an inch of rainfall tomorrow, high of 82. And then into the weekend, Saturday, maybe a chance for a shower or storm, otherwise partly cloudy, highs in the upper 70s. Right now, 78 degrees in Madison, sitting at 74 in Kenosha, and it's 80 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
11 o'clock on a Thursday means it's time for a full hour of city stories with Urban Milwaukee President Jeremy Janine on Point Taken.
Not just president, janitor, and all things UrbanMilwaukee.com. He's a great local reporter. That's why he's here. We always do a solid hour of local stories. I got to admit, though, we let you sort of pick the hierarchy of storylines for the most part, although I always opt for leave stories because I just think it's fascinating and look into how we live our lives in Milwaukee and surrounding areas. But this one, I don't get this story. It's about swatting and a payment from the city.
There's a couple stories here, and I have actually a second settlement we can talk about too that is a tragic situation. But what we're talking about here is science fiction author Patrick Tomlinson and his wife Nikki Robinson live on the east side. And several years ago, he tweeted before the comedian's death that he didn't think Norm Macdonald was funny. And somehow that became the trigger for international internet trolls.
How, though?
To engage in swatting. Patrick is a very outspoken person on Twitter.
So he said something more than just that.
I'm not really sure he did. I don't
but
know if he
explain
did.
what swatting is.
Yes, that's important. So the idea behind swatting is this online harassment behavior where I'll say, hey, I'm Michael Sampson, and my wife Kristen's doing this crazy thing. Come to our house. She's got a gun.
Yeah, it's a dangerous situation.
And it's all a lie.
Yeah, it's not good.
And you're not Michael Sampson or anyone. You're just trying to get the police to do a disproportionate response to this fraudulent situation you've created.
2 years, 40 calls to their home, right?
There were more than 40 calls. There were 40 responses.
Think about the waste of police resources beyond just this storyline, but that is unbelievable.
And so Milwaukee becomes involved in the story in two different ways. One, obviously 911 is triggering MPD to go to the Tomlinson Robinson residence on the east side. But then the second thing is, and this is why the couple sued the city, is after this had happened several times, there was concern. There's actually body camera footage, according to this lawsuit, that proves this out, that officers were like, well, why are we responding to this? We should have some flag for this. And there's a supervisor that was targeted for not just shutting that down. Like, no, we're not going to do that. And also the conduct of, even when the officers appeared to know it was false, they dragged Tomlinson outside supposedly naked or near naked and had him handcuffed outside his house. So kind of the impact of all this actually has ended up costing Milwaukee taxpayers not in just time, but in out of our pocketbooks now to the tune of
$500,000.
$75,000. Yeah.
All the police resources, and you talked on a couple things. One, supervisor should maybe flag that in some way that was significant. But then it sounds like officer overreach, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is nuts.
This is a messed up situation on many levels. And
I wonder how often this happens.
Swatting?
Yeah, in our area.
I don't have an exact stat on that. I mean, this case was just dozens and dozens of times. There's a really good
40's a lot.
How do they not track down the people who call in these? How is there not technology to track down the people who are fraudulently calling and asking for police to show up to a non-crisis situation?
So there is actually a really good article. I'm going to signal out The Independent. And here's the title of the article. It's from February 2024. This man has been swatted 47 times for making a joke about Norm Macdonald. They did a deep dive into the international search for the people perpetrating this, and actually some people that have been arrested for this.
Okay.
It was unclear how much they were connected directly to Tomlinson, but doing this to several people, they looked at the communities these people participate in online to target broad swaths of people repeatedly doing this, that they kind of all gang up and go after certain people. And they really explore it well, and it's the Independent article.
And so some people have been held accountable.
Some
because
people
this is against the law.
Yeah, they've been held accountable for federal charges on this, but the issue persists.
But the city attorney, Evan Goikes, basically said we have to settle this.
Yeah, and not because of swatting, but because of how the police handled the swatting several times into the incident.
Do we know anything about that? Has there been comment from MPD as far as why they kept why there wasn't a consideration of maybe this isn't real and we shouldn't respond?
And eventually that did happen. It's that it took too long for that to happen. And MPD has historically not commented on this specific incident, citing that it's part of a FBI investigation.
All right, after the break, Jeremy Janine, sidewalk dining. Big fan. And Kristen will love this. Parking ticket violations. We'll get to that stuff. All after this.
Mark Olson here. Now is the time to declare your independence from the outdated kitchen during the Redo Cabinets 4th of July event. Redo Cabinets, where hundreds of homeowners have discovered the benefits of refacing old kitchen cabinets, celebrates America's 250th birthday. Redo Cabinets, where you'll find premium cabinet facings made here in the USA, and you can choose from dozens of colors, various hardware, and accessory selections. During the Redo Cabinets 4th of July celebration, get $1,776 off your entire cabinet project and a free backsplash, and no payments for 12 months. That's right, no payments until 2027. Incredible savings. Call us today for a free, no obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us online at redocabinets.com. Don't replace it, redo it with Redo Cabinets.
Penny Mustard's double-sided hybrid mattresses combine a supportive coil spring center with specialty foam.
A flippable mattress that will change the way you sleep.
It also improves your Wi-Fi signal and eliminates bedhead.
No.
But every mattress is made in Wisconsin and built to last.
Plus, your new hybrid mattress removes wrinkles and reduces small talk.
You're gonna get us in trouble.
Okay, fine. Results may vary.
Come see our selection of double-sided hybrid mattresses at Penny Mustard.
PennyMustard.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Abby Home. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen, along with Steve, and it is Thursday in the 11 o'clock hour, so Jeremy Janine is here. And it is summertime, so the parklet dining is emerging. Our friends over at your office just put theirs up. Looks great.
The featured photo for this article.
There you go. I'm a big fan. I feel like this is something that gained popularity during COVID, as far as restaurants in Wisconsin taking advantage of outdoor space and increasing, outdoor dining. And I like this. I like the commute. I like the vibe it creates for the street. But it sounds like there is a potential of changing the process to get approved to do it.
Yeah. So what happened? Let's define what a parklet is, because Steve was asking off air, and that probably means lots of people don't exactly know what it is. Parklet is a dining area or drinking area, I guess, an extension of the tavern or restaurant's premises into the parking lane. It's a wood structure designed with some amount of security.
Not your property, basically, right?
Right. You're in the public right away there. And these did explode in 2020, in part because there was a very logical push to get outside. But the city also basically waived fees on these and has continued that practice. And what's happened now is Common Council President Jose Perez, who represents Walker's Point, which has a number of these, is raising concern about not their existence, but the nature in which they're approved. But that could have the ripple effect of maybe not as many get approved in the future. So I'll read a quote from him. "We've been working for some time to restructure the permitting process and approvals for the parklets. This also will apply to sidewalk dining. Every block is different. Every neighborhood is different. Every commercial corridor is a little different. He wants to shift everything to be a public hearing. Right now, it's purely an administrative approval from the Department of Public Works. It wouldn't be a standalone public hearing. It would be attached to the liquor license for the business."
I'm not a fan of that idea. I mean, everything can't be a public hearing. Seriously. If there's a problem, sure. At then some point it gets put on an agenda. Okay, there's a problem, noise, whatever. Then you have a hearing. If everything's a public hearing, we're not going to get anything done.
Why are they saying the current process is a problem?
There is, well, I'll use your office as an example. The only way, when your office was proposed, my office is next door to your office, to make that a little bit confusing. I get a notice in the mail saying there is a liquor license proposed within 250 or 150 feet of you. For the parklet, which was added later, I don't get any notice. It just shows up on a certain day. And that's within their rights of the whole process right now. Perez wants that to be bundled into the notice for the liquor license.
But what if you get your liquor license and then you decide later on to add a parklet?
You would have to do it as part of the renewal of your liquor license then, which could
clean up the process. Do the work of elected official. Clean up your process. Stop making it about public debate. I've been in enough public hearings. Yeah, it's an airing of grievances. It doesn't always get to a better solution because it's not representative of the general population. Generally, the angry people show up. And I'm not a critic of public debate, but let's be honest. There's some work you don't need to do to that level of detail. You're trying to help businesses. Businesses matter. If there's a problem, then it goes to that level of examination. My take. Former elected official.
One thing that has changed about giving up the parking spaces since the fees were waived in 2020, the city now gets a cut of everything that happens in the public right away because there's a sales tax now.
Which is great.
So one thing to keep in mind about where the money is coming from.
Good partnership. Good example.
Look at that. Public-private partnership.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. I'm not an enemy of that. You keep saying like I'm an enemy. All right. Parking violations. And you asked the question in our sort of tee up here, is $600 in parking tickets a lot? I would say yes.
And what if they're all for one food truck?
Still a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
So the food truck El Paraiso, which has normally been parked on South 16th Street, 3300, so that's near Oklahoma Avenue, it's now facing a 10-day, or it's not, it was given a 10-day suspension on Tuesday. And the entire reason was they've racked up $600 in parking tickets. And that drew the ire of both the Department of Public Works, but also License Committee Chair Joe Costa Zamaripa, who said that, you just have to park where you're legally allowed to park. They've got violations for parking on the curb. I'm trying to find the list Sophie Bullock put in her article here. They ended up getting operating without registration citations, improper overnight parking, and parking in excess of 24 hours. So food trucks don't have a free-for-all. The city can crack down on their licenses as well. And that's what happened here.
Again, simplified. Pay the fine, follow the rules, do business. Why is this hard?
Well, they've actually been paying these fines.
Okay,
They're just
good.
racking them
They're
up.
just not changing their behavior.
No,
So they keep
so they
getting
did.
more
They did the
fines.
first one, but they didn't follow the rules. The second piece.
So that is interesting because I feel like when you are a brick and mortar establishment and like a liquor, like your office or any of these bars, and you have to go get your license again. Like when you have a couple strikes against you, sometimes that impedes on your ability to be like licensed the next year. Is that the same thing that happens for food trucks? If like, there's enough issues, like they just will stop being able to operate.
It's more rare just because the nature of how they happen. But yes, and in this case, I should note there are some outstanding citations according to Sophie's notes in the article.
All right, he's Jeremy Janine. He is the guy at UrbanMilwaukee.com, reporter, founder, president, janitor, tchotchke shop owner, and sometimes clerk.
Sometimes.
And for folks who don't know where the tchotchke shop is, where is it?
755 North Milwaukee Street, corner of Milwaukee and Mason, and online at UrbanMilwaukeeTheStore.com.
All right, and just to tell a quick story, I was next to another tchotchke shop, of which there are several in Milwaukee, and I almost went in. I go, I have to go to Jeremy's first, Urban Milwaukee's. I felt that I had a responsibility. All right, after the break, usually when they clean your office out, that means you're gone. We'll find out if that's true or not for a very high-profile individual in our community after this.
Behind every breaking headline, there's a reporter whose perspective deserves to be heard. This is WTMJ's Adam Roberts. Join me Sunday mornings at 10 on Reporter's Notebook as we break down the news from the lens of the reporter and analyze stories that deserve closer inspection. We'll also give you a behind-the-scenes look at what goes into a reporter's job and how the news you hear every day comes together.
Bringing you the story behind the story. It's Reporter's Notebook, Sunday mornings at 10 on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ. Steve Skinny. For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Don't let a busted garage door opener problem, which is what I have, and Geis will fix for me. Call my friends at Geis today, Geis. With brands like CHI, LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget, and even will build custom designs. I've seen some of these things at their great showroom in Brookfield to meet your exact needs and your budget. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. Visit their amazing showroom. You will not believe how many door styles they have. And check out the opener room, the technology, the apps-driven technology, and the cameras now available on openers. You never have to worry if you left your garage door open or not. That's the cool stuff. Don't think twice. Call Geis, Geis, GeisDoors.com.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. And there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management.
We have a contractual agreement that we give our clients, this fiduciary standard of care. We also say fee-only fiduciary. So a lot of people are kind of twisting it these days and saying, I'm a fiduciary some of the time. I call them part-time fiduciaries. And that's the reason why we say fee-only fiduciary. That means we do not accept commissions.
Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based, Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
It is 11:26 almost on WTMJ. Kristen Bry ready to take on the show by herself for the next week and whatever.
6 days.
6 days.
I'll manage.
Yeah, you'll do fine.
Although Jeremy's not here next Thursday.
Oh.
So we'll have to manage without you.
Yeah. He's here today, though. So what you got on this, the latest chapter in this long-running story about Marty Brooks?
Yeah, we'll just touch on this briefly. As we talked about last week, my sources indicate Brooks's employment is likely to wrap up this week. Maybe that's not going to happen, but he has cleared out his office. An email came into the Wisconsin Center District Board earlier this week from Brooks's executive assistant, Robin Pitts, And I'll quote from her email, "I sit just feet away from our CEO and I watched him clean out his office without a word he could share with me." And her frustration on behalf of her and her colleagues is that everything the Wisconsin Center District employee base seems to know comes from the media. Not much is coming from the board itself.
Yeah.
Nothing is coming from Brooks. As I've talked about, lots of this is coming from sources, from me, unnamed sources that are talking to me off the record. So we've got, and on background, this situation seems to be coming to a head. Brooks is decamped to Florida. He told Rich Kirchen at the Business Journal. He's still technically employed. The Wisconsin Center District issued a non-statement statement. Marty is still CEO of the Wisconsin Center District because this involves confidential personnel and governance matters. We are not in a position to comment further at this time. This issue is going to resolve itself at some point, and it's likely going to end with Marty Brooks not being employed by the Wisconsin Center District, but how it gets there still remains to be seen.
So when did he first start this job?
2018.
So in the tenure, obviously, since you've been doing reporting for a very long time, obviously we're more familiar with the more recent rapid events that have happened under Marty Brooks, as far as the Jose Perez situation, the conference hotel. But up until all of this started, what was the general reputation of what kind of job was he doing? Was he liked? Did people think he was doing a good job? Like, how much was this kind of a departure from the first, what would it be, 7 years of how he was doing the job versus everything that's happened in the last 9 months?
I think it was a dramatic departure. Nick Desiato, the chief of staff for Mayor Cavalier Johnson, talked about a year ago, said that they thought Brooks was doing, I quote, a hell of a job. And that came up with his negotiating a salary. Bob Bauman wanted to use that as leverage because Brooks had actually outsmarted the city on negotiating this revenue sharing deal. So he had a great reputation, and he still generally has a good reputation. It's really unclear why the board has
It's just fallen apart so quickly.
other than these real frustration, Convention Center Hotel, and supposedly some things they found in an internal investigation.
So this is sort of speculative, but how much will we ever know? Or is it just going to be a parting of ways? Just seal that information. It's not public information, or is it?
How good of a journalist are you?
Yeah. Who are your sources?
I know some things. I don't think they'll ever be publicly confirmed on the record by anyone. I'm guessing this ends with some type of brokered resignation.
And then looking at possible successors, any names getting thrown around?
No, I mean, Marty Brooks was he was an outsider pick. He
Right.
came from St. Louis. I suspect you'll get someone else like that that's leading a similar convention center in a similar market. It seems unlikely you'd hire a local candidate, although I wouldn't rule that out. But likely it seems like the position would be hiring an outsider who has experience.
Last time we talked about this story in whatever form or fashion it was, because we had several mentions on the last few times you've been on the show. Somebody said, it seems like a personality thing. And not like a real story. I mean, what would you say to that?
I think it started as a personality thing. This convention center hotel just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And then the room, 17 people in the room, shifted against him clearly over time, where now I'm told it's unanimous that all 17 want him out.
That being said, he has a lot of support in the community, because I hear from people that they like the job he did.
Yeah, I think this convention center hotel study just snowballed out of control, and a lot of people are like, oh, it was hubris that he pursued it in the first place.
Interesting. All right, he's Jeremy Janine, urbanmilwaukee.com. It's a great read. They have great reporters, and they cover the stories that you need to know about the city of Milwaukee, county of Milwaukee, to a level of detail that you don't see that often. And we spent a lot of time this week talking about the power of journalism. Here's a great example, local journalism done well at urbanmilwaukee.com. It's a great sort of recap of the stories. I know it's Thursday, not Friday, but it's a great recap of the things that, even as much as we pay attention to the news, we don't necessarily always know about. So that's why I love this hour with Jeremy. All right, we got a local news update coming up from what I like to say, America's favorite newsman. My wife the other day goes, who is this America's favorite newsman guy? I said, it's Neil Doyle. Yeah. Hello. But before we get to that, here's the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton is going to plead guilty to one count of illegally retaining classified information. Sources tell ABC News Bolton will pay a fine of more than $2 million. ABC's Catherine Falder says the plea is for much less than the original charge.
He was charged last year by a grand jury in Maryland with 8 counts of unlawful transmission of national defense information, as well as 10 counts of unlawful retention of national defense information.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche told reporters he's honored and humbled by President Trump's plan to nominate him to the Attorney General post. His path, though, is unclear. Some Republicans on the Senate Judiciary Committee have criticized Blanche's role in the administration's anti-weaponization fund. The president today expected to announce plans to boost coal, including building new plants in Alaska and West Virginia. And first-time jobless claims unexpectedly increased last week by 10,000. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Police still investigating a shots-fired incident that happened near the Marquette University campus. It was Wednesday night near 80th in Wisconsin. Several people exchanging gunfire, including someone inside of a dark-colored sedan. Police say the suspects fled the scene. No one was hurt. Multiple buildings in that area were struck by bullets. The victim of a deadly car fire in Greenfield now identified. 30-year-old Aaron Morris was found in the burning vehicle. This was I-43 westbound, right off the ramp to 60th Street on Tuesday. The medical examiner's office saying that Morris was allegedly the suspect in a hit-and-run accident shortly before the car caught on fire. An investigation ongoing. Coming up this afternoon, the Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents considering a tuition hike for undergraduates. The proposal would raise tuition by 2% for the upcoming year. University leaders say the increase would remain below the current inflation rate and would help with rising operating costs. Board of Regents meeting at about 1 o'clock this afternoon over on the UWM campus. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow continuing to soar up 930 points at 51,618. The NASDAQ is down 77 at 26,776. And the S&P 500 up 21 at 7,570. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Still seeing some delays, or I should say slowdowns in our work zone. I-41 southbound, tapping the brakes, starts at Good Hope, and then will start to ease up once you get past Hampton. Kind of the same on the other side, a bit slow 41 northbound. That's from North Avenue to about Capitol Drive. And again, kind of typical slowdowns. 94 east and westbound right near the stadium. That's between 60th and Layton. Rest of the system, everything moving along nicely. Your forecast, partly cloudy, warm today. We'll see a high around 86 degrees. Tonight, we could start to see a few showers, a low down to 64, and then expecting to be a pretty wet Friday. Cloudy with rain and storm chances. Could see anywhere from a half inch to possibly up to an inch of rainfall tomorrow. High of 82, and then into the weekend, could maybe see a shower or storm on Saturday. Partly cloudy, high of 78. Partly cloudy and nice conditions then Sunday with highs in the mid-70s. Right now, 71 degrees in Sheboygan. It's 80 in Waukesha and 81 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and chief metaphor officer. What do you have for us this time?
Dad, for a lot of sellers, selling their home is like handing over a family photo album. Every room in that house has a birthday memory or a trombone lesson or that last Mother's Day brunch before the kids moved out. The seller isn't just transferring a deed, they're saying farewell to a chapter of their life.
So buyers need to walk through the front door with that in mind.
Absolutely. It's not just a financial transaction. It's a transfer of trust. Sellers and their agents are looking to say yes to the buyer who is strong enough and safe enough to make good on their offer.
So what does that look like in practice?
It looks like a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval and a thoughtfully crafted offer that tells the seller, I will show up.
Because when the seller is deciding who will get the keys and the metaphorical family photo album,
you want them to feel the best about handing them to you.
Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the Memorial Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big bucks on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian designed recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases. And it's free. Stop in today and save during our Memorial Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristen, along with Steve Scafidi right before he heads to vacation tomorrow and all of next week. Jeremy Janine is here. And moving on to our lead, R is in Milwaukee, our lead pipe program that is at risk.
It is at risk on a macro level. On a micro level locally, it's actually doing really well. The city didn't hit its goal of replacing 3,500 replacements last year, but it still set a record of 3,300 some. So, and that was 2 years ago. It had never replaced more than 1,000 in a given year. So that this program has scaled up dramatically. This year, the goal is to replace 5,000 lead service lines. This is all driven by the Biden administration's changed what is called the lead and copper rule that says starting in 2020, and I got to get my years right, 2027, I think, or 2026, you have until 2037 to replace every lead service line. President Joe Biden even came to Milwaukee to promote this policy change. And the big thing the federal government did on top of making that policy change was provide the funding to do that, because the Milwaukee Waterworks, the utilities were in Oak Creek, wherever across the state, Ashwaubenon, everywhere, don't have the authority or really the ability to go just tax extra to get this money to the tune of $10,000 of lead service line, roughly, to replace them. So the federal government came to help with money. Well, the Trump administration is now threatening to cut that money off, which means the work wouldn't halt immediately, but in a couple of years, the city could find itself in a situation where it's mandated to replace what'll be likely 45,000 lead service lines remaining and not have a financing source to do more than like 1,000 a year. President Trump, in his proposed 2027 budget, has proposed a 90% cut to the program that would pay for this work.
This is one of the most maddening issues because, first of all, this should have been fixed a long time ago when it would have been significantly cheaper. And every elected official who sort of played games with this, you mentioned the president, there's, you go state, you go local, that allowed this to continue, which has serious health implications for the children and adults in a community, is inexcusable. But here we are talking about another possible, hiccup here where this should, come on, people, what are we doing? It's nuts.
And one thing I'd like to point out, this is a case of the economies of scale really working in favor of both residents and the government. When the city of Milwaukee started its lead service line replacement program in 2017, it cost $11,000 to do a single lead service line. With about $70,000 in the ground, that meant you had a $750 million program. Now that they've scaled up every single year, the costs have been dropping. It's down to $7,300.
Yep.
So you're seeing actually it's getting cheaper as you go along, as you scale it up. But now the money spigot is being threatened to turn it off and freeze everything in the ground.
It's just this thing just bothered me for decades. I don't understand it. Sometimes just the short-term, whatever gain they think they're getting from not paying for something crucifies our communities and the health and safety of all of us decades later. And there's all sort of ways that touches our community. All right. Since I'm only senior in the room.
You are.
An
That's
update
true.
to a 2025 issue.
The McGovern Park Senior Center, there's a question of what to do with it. Going back to early, this time last year, even maybe before, the David Crowley's administration had proposed the McGovern Park Senior Center located within McGovern Park, aging building of a senior age itself, that the plan was we'll do an affordable housing development and we'll put a new senior center on the bottom of it, but we'll do it within the footprint of the park. Well, a number of groups rallied against that. Area Supervisor Felicia Martin said no, and so the proposal died without a financing source to update the senior center. August came, the 1,000-year storm happened, senior center flooded. It's now out of commission. It's been out of commission since then. The Crowley administration estimates it would cost $1.9 million just to reopen the building for the amount of damage that was done. A lot of the mechanical systems are in the basement, all damaged. The county is now considering moving forward on a study of what it could do long-term. Could it do that affordable housing development off-site somewhere? Is that what the community would want? This is a long-term issue for all of the senior centers in the county. They're sprinkled across not just the city, but the entire county. And so there's a proposal right now to fund a study with $100,000. Graham Kilmer has more on Urban Milwaukee about it.
Great reporting. I talk about it all the time. And if you want to find out for yourself some of the stories that we're talking about today and other stories that they do the job of a reporter in our community, urbanmilwaukee.com. After the break, one of my favorite topics, freeways, after this.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scavidi for QC Kinetics. These sound familiar? I can't raise my arms. I can't climb stairs. I can't kneel down, which means I can't play with my kids or grandkids, golf with the guys, or get through a workday without exhausting pain. This is WTMJ Steve Scavidi. I had some of those issues, and I went to QC Kinetics last year, had 5 treatments, changed my life. Bad elbow pain, tear, and tennis elbow is how they commonly refer to it. And I talked to Dr. Caravelli and a great team at QC Kinetics. We're not only great medical professionals, but also great communicators. And they talked me through it, and they explained that the work could be done in the office right there. Greenfield for me. They have a Mequon location as well. No missing work, no surgery, no meds, no long recovery. Got rid of the pain, completely back to normal. And I love hearing the stories from people who also did the same journey that I did with QC Kinetics. I'm here to help, and they can help. So go find out what you can do. It's a good life out there. Enjoy it. Go live life to the fullest. Get rid of the pain first and foremost. Starting now, consultations totally free to see if you're a good candidate. Weekend appointments available. It is regenerative treatments. It works. It worked for me. It can work for you. 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. QC Kinetics.
The best way to give your house a makeover is with new siding from Abbey Home. We will customize and design a brand new look for your house to make you the talk of the neighborhood. To top it off, we will fully insulate your home as well so you can save on your energy bills. It's not just siding, it's a pre-engineered wall system. Right now, get 50% off installation. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Go to abbyhome.com today or give us a call at 414-436-ABBY. That's 414-436-2229.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know you do things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can easily find the products you need and trust at unbeatable prices? Right now, during our June farm sale, save $2 on assorted Purina horse feed. Save $70 on a 50-pint Perfect Air dehumidifier. And assorted Carhartt work boots are 25% off. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Milwaukee Weight Loss knows the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no drugs or surgery, and they will show you how to keep it off for good. Get your confidence and your health back. Right now, $200 off on their summer special for a limited time only. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to book your free consultation. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Freeways.
Get people moving.
Get people around.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. I'm Kristen. He's Steve. Here with Jeremy Janine. Ramps. So the South Side Freeway ramps near Walker's Point is what we're talking about.
Near National Avenue. This is going to test your radio ability right here because we have something that is
It's
very...
like doing math on the radio?
No math is involved, but it's very confusing to describe. There's an image at the end of this article.
But everybody knows, if you're from Milwaukee yourself, you know the area very well.
You know
Everybody goes through it.
If you've never gotten off here or gotten on or tried to drive or walk near it, you might not appreciate...
How would you describe it?
Just south of National Avenue, there is a freeway on and off ramp, except there's actually 6 of them, and it's really just one on and off ramp.
It's just messy.
It is incredibly
Yeah,
messy.
That's it.
And so that actually back to back Joe Biden stories, I guess. The Biden administration had the Reconnecting Communities program. You may remember in March of 2024, Biden came to Milwaukee and announced $30-some million to rebuild South 6th Street, and the Trump administration clawed that money back. What they didn't claw back was money at the very end of 6th Street where it intersects with National to redesign the spaghetti interchange there, essentially, of ramps that were built in the 1960s. I think there's general agreement by everyone involved that they're not the ideal layout. They actually involved demolishing almost 9 full blocks to put in just a set of ramps at what amounts to National Avenue. None of the ramps right now directly get you to National Avenue. They go to Mineral, they go to Walker, and they cut those streets off going east and west. So there are 4 design concepts. You can see them in this article. The 5th design concept keeps it where it is. One of the design concepts calls for just, let's eliminate that ramp. Do we actually need an on-off at National Avenue? And what would it look like to try and re-stitch the street grid together there while also keeping the freeway going diagonally through the site? Others attempt to put one street back through either Mineral or Walker.
It's pretty diverse options from like almost spaghetti to like nothing.
Yes, there's a wide range of options. There was a community meeting last night, actually. So unfortunately, our timing isn't great there. But linked in this article, or if you go to the Wisconsin Department of Transportation website, there is a web page where you can comment on what you would like to see. There is no funding for this at the moment. There was just study money. But eventually, this project will have to happen because these are aging ramps. That is an aging freeway corridor. So this rebuild is going to happen at some point.
So who gets to put input on, like put in input for this? Like, you have to be a city resident, county resident? Is it anybody? Like, who gets considered when making these decisions?
Anyone can leave a comment on it. Obviously, there's going to be probably some weighting being done internally without any formal structure to, okay, we really care what the United Community Center says since they have so many properties right up against this versus Steve in Oak Creek. Maybe we'll weight his just a little bit less. We still value him.
Why less?
Well, you're just not next to it. You don't live next to it.
You're not impacted by it.
I'm in that neighborhood all the time. There's great restaurants around there and stuff. Come on.
Are you a big Ladama person?
Not that one specifically, but I go through there.
Okay.
I like to.
Odd Duck?
This may surprise you. I've been Odd Duck. I like to drive through the neighborhoods of Milwaukee because you learn things, you see things.
Just wave to people,
like a parade wave.
Yeah.
No.
Like, hey, start up conversation. You're a man of the people. That's what you always say, right?
Thanks for affirming my value.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. If you know, the neighborhoods directly around there, the people, if you've talked to them, what are they saying about some of these options?
I haven't heard any comment on any of these options. Going back many years, Jose Perez at a committee meeting or in a discussion I had with him said, referencing these ramps in particular, said that I think we all agree now that it's a mistake to have an off-ramp go straight into the city street grid.
Yeah.
The city's had to do lots of traffic calming, kind of where these ramps, you off-ramp at 60 miles per hour onto a street that goes 25 miles per hour. You do it in a very short distance into a very urban environment. It's just a design challenge.
I'm really interested to hear what the neighborhood has to say because it's pretty significant. It's like weird the way that's set up. I know that there's reasons for that, and I kind of alluded the way we've done our freeway system in Milwaukee, but it's got to be fixed. Again, ideas matter, and going from full spaghetti to nothing, I don't know. It's got to be like somewhere in the middle, in my opinion. Let's figure it out because you don't want to cut off a neighborhood.
Yeah, I think there's probably plenty of people there that would like having access to the freeway long term, but they don't need 3 different ramps to get on.
Yeah, exactly. See, we've come to consensus. Jeremy and I we can figure it out. We didn't need public debates.
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
$2.5 million saved.
Yeah. Do we get no?
Do you get the study money?
Yeah, I'll take the study money. All right, we'll wrap it up with Jeremy Janine from UrbanMilwaukee.com after this On Point Taken.
Meet Jim and Rita. We went on a motorcycle trip. But somewhere in Wyoming, Jim and Rita were in a serious accident. They blocked off the interstate and everything and took us to the hospital. Sometime later, Rita made a discovery. She had noticed that the bracelet was gone. And I asked the trooper, is there a chance we can go out there and see if it's still there? And amazingly, he found a couple of pieces.
It was only 2 tiny links of the bracelet.
Jim was determined to buy Rita another bracelet from Kessler's.
And I had my checkbook in my hand.
But when he arrived there,
And I said, okay, how much? And she says, that's part of our warranty.
Jim and Rita discovered the Kessler's miraculous, no small print warranty.
It's just amazing that you guys do this. And it's true.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple.
It surely is miraculous.
Read the Kessler's Miraculous No Small Print Warranty yourself at Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Car Edge. The stress of car buying is finally a thing of the past. Car Edge negotiates with local dealerships for you, keeping your personal info private. With an average of 20 plus years of dealership experience, Car Edge experts know every trick in the book, saving you time and money. No sales calls, no wasted hours playing games at a dealership, just the best deal on the car you want. WTMJ fans get 20% off. Call 414-667-7413 or visit caredge.com/WTMJ for a free no obligation consultation today.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me, not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem, and I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who'll tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
No matter what business you're in, as the #1 SBA lender in Wisconsin, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions.
Awarded the #1 SBA lender by the Small Business Administration of Wisconsin in 2025.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. We are in the heart of it. It is spring and summer in Wisconsin. I love it. I've got a lot of cool stuff planned. We want to help you plan your getaway, whether it's a romantic getaway or something with the family. Join us for Experience Wisconsin, 1 o'clock Saturdays here on WTMJ. This week, it's going to be a fun show. Hayward Lakes is spotlighted, and so is Sheboygan. Yeah, it's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1, right here on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
We are in the city of Milwaukee. She was Kristen Bryan, Steve Stevens, Point Taken. Thanks for listening. If you missed any or all of our tremendous broadcasts this week and beyond, just Google Point Taken or search it, and on your favorite platform you can find it, or go to WTMJ.com. All of our shows are there. I don't know how much you do, but I spend all the time re-listening to shows because I missed something or I want to see what I said or what you said about something. Fascinating, even for someone who does it. Fascinating radio. And I told you the story. Sorry, we're taking up some of your time. I come out of the studios yesterday. Guy stops and he goes, Steve? I go, yeah. He goes, love your show. Love the balance. Love Kristen. Love you. Love the topics. Unsolicited audience approval.
Did you buy him a beer?
No, he actually, his little thing was going off because his food was ready.
Okay.
And I was, as you know, in a hurry. Yeah. All right. Your time, Jeremy.
Well, I'm just a guest here, but thanks for having me. Big announcement yesterday from WHEDA, the Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority. The primary source of creating affordable apartments in Wisconsin is the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit, a federal program administered by WHEDA. They approved 8 Milwaukee developments yesterday. This doesn't mean they're all going to have groundbreakings tomorrow. I'm guessing at least one of them on this list probably will never get to a groundbreaking, but it's like usually a 2-year cycle. We have the 633 Wisconsin. That's a redevelopment of an office building 2 blocks east of here. Scattered Site Homes in Amani, Compass Lofts and Martin Luther King Drive. Scattered Site Project in Harambe from Melissa Allen. The Ho-Chunk Nation is actually redeveloping its property on Howell Avenue.
Wow.
Midtown Commons across from that Walmart. So projects all across the city. Sears Market Square is one of them. The vacant Sears, the parking lot of it at 20th and Fond du Lac. And then we'll shift gears completely. You can read all more about that at our Milwaukee.
Quickly, is there any other more fallout or correction with the Walmart, Midtown Walmart data center?
There are 3 meetings coming up. The first one is June 10th. You can find details on that on Urban Milwaukee or on Alderman Mark Chambers' city webpage.
Okay. It seems like people calmed down a little bit about it. But
Yeah.
maybe it's just because the hearing hasn't happened yet.
That's very possible. So, and then we'll switch to after phone search. Prosecutors say new evidence discovered against Tierman Spencer every time the police get a hold of Tierman Spencer's phone, things end up bad.
How is this guy not in jail yet or in prison yet?
Well,
Like, I feel like there's been so many charges against him for a variety of different.
He's an attorney, and due process is probably the answer to that.
And part of the issue is the charges have stacked up, and his attorney argues that the second charges only came because he didn't agree to a plea bargain deal on the first charges. But so the latest thing we talked about was bail jumping charge for Tierman Spencer. He contacted a witness in this case that was supposed to go to trial this week. The case didn't go to trial because of this. District Attorney's Office seized his phone with a warrant in early May. When they did that, they discovered evidence, they say, alleged evidence that proves their case on the case he was supposed to go to trial for. So not only did they find what they say is evidence of this bail jumping crime, but they found evidence now that will be used in the trial against him for what he knew that his notary license was expired, which is part of his defense, hypothetically, in this other case. So the Tierman Spencer saga, a tongue twister, is ongoing. The next status conference is scheduled for July 17th. So we're now 2 different times the trial has been delayed.
All right, 20 seconds for new bars and restaurants that open in May.
Oh, boy, you're going to make me open up the article and read them quick. Sophie does a great job of every month. Sophie Bullock for our team.
If people are interested, they can go urbanwalkie.com and find them.
Yes, she does every month, does a complete list of everything that is opened. It's a really wonderful resource. My friends and I use it to pick where to go out to eat. Blue Hour Cafe was her favorite this month.
Here's an offer for you. Maybe on a future episode, we bring Sophie in and have a chunk of your hour about restaurants and stuff.
Mike Spalding and I have already been discussing this.
Oh.
Look at him working past us, past the hosts. Get out of here. Jeremy, Janine, urbanwalkie.com. I'm out of here.
All right. Have a good vacation. We'll see you when you get back.
All right.
And Kyle Wallace will be here with me tomorrow. It'll be a fun show.
It will be. She's always fun. Kristen Bry, Steve Scaffidi. Jeremy, Janine. News is next.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Comfort Awnings. My motorized retractable awning is already saving me from that hot summer sun. I love that I can enjoy my patio year-round thanks to Comfort